checks of $2,000 per family, which will be a political liability for Democrats if they fall. The governor, who is running for re-election, said the divided legislature should agree to a special session only to approve the checks. Republicans favor permanent income tax cuts this year. And during this year's legislative session, they unsuccessfully pushed to cut the rate in half on the state's bottom income tax bracket. All filers pay at least a portion of their income in that bracket. Since January, Wallace has proposed 3 rebate checks, the check size growing each time. The stimulus checks sent out during the crisis were very popular. Nearly 4 in 5 voters were in support of it, and Democrats rally behind this in Washington. The popularity of the payments and findings that they reduce poverty are being a great tool for Democrats and Republicans this year.
Of course, we're sitting on the largest untapped oil reserve in the world. Amazing enough here in the United States. We've been utilizing this properly. Instead of launching on an assault on domestic energy production, our union would be in a much better state. Of course, as we know, on the first day in office, President Biden shut down the Keystone Pipeline on and off over the years, suspended pending oil and gas leases, and halted domestic energy production, which stopped exports on liquefied natural gas to our allies overseas. We've seen how important that is when Europe has become so reliant upon Russian natural gas. Poland recently just cut off supply buying from Russia so they would be able to not be so dependent. The Germans too, other Eastern European countries. Of course, now what we've seen since all this, lack of exploration, shortness of supply.
From strategic reserves, the White House has said that they are supportive of domestic producers increasing their production. Leaders on Capitol Hill have their own ideas and have introduced various proposals that could bring down costs for consumers. Some of the proposals include a gas stimulus check, similar to the economic impact payments made by the IRS. DeFazio also introduced a bill called the Stop Gas Price Gouging Tax and Rebate Act. So this proposal would work in a way to the stimulus checks from the federal government. Single filers earning less than $75,000 a year would receive the full rebate. And during his State of the Union address, President Biden said, rising prices on everything from food to gasoline are hurting Americans, and the White House has unveiled a plan to fight the inflation. Too many families, everybody, are struggling to keep up with their bills. So inflation in America is actually higher than it has been at any point in nearly 40 years. 2 of the most watched inflation indicators, the Labor Department's Consumer Price Index and the Commerce Department's Personal Consumption Price Index, hit their highest levels since 1982. So to get inflation under control, the president called on companies to lower their costs and other wages. He asked the car and tech industries to bring their supply chains back home and make both vehicles and semiconductors on U.S. soil. So, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki also told reporters that the White House will look into the possibility of doubling up payments if Congress passes President Biden's bill this month. The plan would continue this monthly child tax credit through 2022. Jen Psaki told reporters, if we get it done in January, we would talk to Treasury officials and others about doing double-digit payments as an option. The president wants to see this move forward. It's a priority for him as Congress returns. So the total child tax credit is $3,600 for each child under 6 and $3,000 for each child ages 6 to 17. So folks, hopefully President Biden can do something about this and send out stimulus.
The world has changed. In addition to dealing with terrorist organizations, for the second quarter of the 21st century, we're once again facing increased competition from other nation states, China and Russia, which are going to require investments to make things like space and cyber and other advanced capabilities, including hypersonics. And this will be among the largest investments in our national security in history. Some people don't like the increase, but we're in a different world today. America is more prosperous, more successful, and more just when it is more secure. We can restore fiscal responsibility and safeguard our security at home and abroad while meeting the third value, what I call building a better America. Let's provide universal preschool, cap the cost of child care at 7% of a family's income. Like many families, that would cut the cost of child care in half. It'll make college more affordable.